What if the very things we pride ourselves on are the very things that keep us veiled from truth? What if the voice that says, "I am doing good," is the same voice that blinds us from our inner chaos? The Quran, in its oceanic depth, does not merely speak of distant enemies of faith, it reflects the secret ailments within our own hearts. Surah Al-Baqarah, verses 11 to 13, may appear to address a certain group of hypocrites from a particular time, but the Sufi sees it differently. These verses are not confined by history. They are eternally present, whispering into the soul of every seeker. Look again, not at others, at yourself. Come, let us walk slowly through each verse, not as scholars or judges, but as lovers of truth, willing to weep, tremble, and awaken. Verse 11. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. And when it is said to them, "Do not spread corruption on the earth," they say, "We are only reformers." This verse begins with a confrontation. A statement is made to a group. Do not spread corruption in the land. But instead of accepting the correction or reflecting upon it, the response is denial. We are reformers, they say. Now pause, look inward. How often do we justify our harmful actions in the name of good? The Sufi interpretation here urges the seeker to witness how the ego cloaks its selfishness in noble language. Even acts of violence, oppression, or pride can be dressed as reform when the heart is veiled. The earth in this verse is not just the physical world. It is the space around us, the relationships we touch, the hearts we influence, and even deeper, it is our own being. To corrupt the earth is to disturb the harmony of the soul. Sometimes we force our opinions on others, believing we are correcting them. We twist the truth to make it fit our narrative. We argue with arrogance, not love, and we call it sincerity. But Allah calls it fasad. This verse is the mirror. Do you see yourself in it? Verse 12. Ala innahum humul mufsidun, walakin la yashurun. Unquestionably, it is they who are the corruptors, but they perceive it not. Here lies a spiritual earthquake. The divine voice interrupts the self-justification of those in the previous verse. Allah declares with absolute certainty, they are the ones spreading corruption, not by mistake, not by accident, but due to a blindness of perception. La yashurun, they do not perceive. The Sufi masters teach that spiritual blindness is more dangerous than sin, because the sinner who knows he is sinning can return. But the one who sins while thinking he is doing good, he is trapped in illusion. Think of a man who walks in the dark, believing he walks in light. He bumps into others. He knocks over lamps. He stumbles but blames others. This is the state described in this verse. In the Sufi path, awakening begins when we recognize that our perceptions may be distorted, when we realize that being sincere does not always mean being right, when we taste the terror of knowing we may be wrong. This verse is a call to inner stillness. Before every action, ask, what is my intention? Whose voice am I obeying? The voice of my ego or the whisper of the beloved? Let the tears fall here. Let the spine tremble. For this verse is not about them. It is about me. Verse 13. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ قَالُوا أَنُؤْمِنُ كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ السُّفَهَاءُ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. And when it is said to them, believe as the people have believed, they say, shall we believe as the foolish have believed? Unquestionably, it is they who are the foolish, but they know it not. Now we reach the core of spiritual arrogance. Here, those addressed are told to believe like others have believed. Who are these others? The simple-hearted believers, the sincere ones, the ones who weep in prayer, the ones who bow in humility, the ones whose hearts melt upon hearing the name of Allah. But the response of the arrogant is mockery. Shall we believe like these foolish people? They say. Do you feel the weight of this question? It is not just an insult. It reveals a deep disease, the pride of intellect, the pride of status, the pride of I know better. In the eyes of such people, real faith appears naive. They look at the devotion of true believers and see it as emotionalism. They see tears and call them weakness. They see submission and call it foolishness. But Allah, the knower of hearts, turns the accusation back. They are the foolish ones, but they do not know. The Sufi gaze here is profound. Real foolishness is not in weeping for God, not in bowing with awe, not in walking barefoot to a shrine or reciting his name until your lips go dry. Real foolishness is in thinking you are wise without love. To reject simplicity of heart is to reject the very door of divine presence. The Sufi way is childlike, not childish. It returns you to innocence. And here Allah affirms, those who mock the faithful are themselves lost, though they believe themselves to be found. This verse is a lantern in the night. Let it burn away your pride. Let it soften your eyes. Let it remind you that the highest intellect is the one that bows in humility. The inner thread that binds these verses. What unites verses 11 to 13 is not just a critique of hypocrisy. It is a divine unveiling of the hidden traps of the ego. First, it masks corruption as reform. Then it blinds us to our own damage. Finally, it leads us to mock those who are beloved to God. The Sufi does not point fingers outward. He reads these verses on his prayer rug, late at night, whispering, "O Allah, do not let me be among them. Do not let me justify harm. Do not let me believe I am awake while I sleep. Do not let me call your lovers foolish." This is not just interpretation, it is medicine. But medicine only works if you take it. Take these verses into your bloodstream. Let them shake you. Let them empty you. And then let them fill you with something real. An invitation to remember. If your heart stirred during these reflections, do not let the feeling pass. Anchor it. Return to these verses often. Read them before sleep. Recite them when your ego grows loud. And if you believe others should walk this path of awakening too, share this message. Share it not as a preacher, but as a fellow traveler, a seeker, a friend. May Allah make us among those who truly see. May He purify us of our self-deception. And may these verses not stand against us on the day of truth, but for us, as signs that we turned back when it mattered. The Quran is not just a book, it is a mirror. And today it has shown us ourselves. Let that vision become transformation. Ameen.